I just want to say, I know I'm up here on the stage and I'm like mic'd up and dressed up and all this, but like, I really wish I was just sitting like right in front of you. I want to connect at the heart today. I'm coming from my heart. I'm coming from my soul. I do health and life coaching. Now, I used to be overweight. I used to be a standard American diet as it gets. I used to live a very disempowered life. And I've gone on a big old journey of healing both my body and a lot of soul work. And now I get to do that for a living. And I'm in churches with people every day. I'm not just, yes, I have social media, but like my main job is in the trenches with people every day. And what I'm speaking about today, this relationship with your body, this is the piece I see missing. This is not being talked about. You're gonna get some really incredible high-level information. I'm honored to be speaking with the speakers that are here. Absolutely, like the highest level in health. So you're gonna get a lot of information. But if this isn't established, how many of you have kids? Okay, a lot of you. Okay, so would you agree with me that if you don't have a good relationship with your kid, you can do all of the mechanical things. You can take them to softball and you can, make them a good lunch and you can take them to the park, but it doesn't work if the relationship isn't there, right? And so I want you to keep that in mind as you get some world-class health information during this conference, that if you want it to work with ease, you have to build a relationship with your body. And I know a lot of you are probably like, what are you talking about? Because when I talk to people about this, I feel like I'm green. They're like, okay, this is like some kumbaya stuff. No, it is not kumbaya stuff. It is the foundation of health. And unfortunately, what I'm seeing doing the mindset life coaching work with people on the daily is that there's two paths that we seem to be in right now as a human collective in terms of relationship with our body. And the first one is this complete neglect, forget about it, just take it for granted. We forget that we cannot experience this whole earth life thing that's pretty freaking cool without this, right? But we're just like, eh. Or it gets even worse than that, is I can't stand this, it's a thorn in my side, and I get it. I know many of you in this room, me included, have been abused, sexually abused. Your body has brought a lot of pain. Being obese, all of that stuff, I get it. But we have to heal this relationship if we want health to start with ease. Yep. Because once you have that relationship, you can start listening. Your body is sending you messages all the time. The other path is this very hard, expectations, like, come on, body, let's go, like David Goggins times a million, if you guys know him, it's like this, super hard on my body all the time, expectations, it's gotta be like this, and if it's not like that, then it's not good enough. That's generally what I run into. It's either complete neglect or expectations abuse energy. I'm like, where's the healthy relationships with the body? I'm not seeing them, hardly ever. Last thing I'll say before we dive into this is you want to be hard to kill. Think of military operations, special forces. Think of professional sports teams. What does everybody know? As a team plays together longer, they get better, right? So this is your teammate. You got your soul and you got this thing. It's your avatar, it's your biotech suit. Okay, and they work together. So if you want to be hard to kill, you have to build that relationship to actually hear what your body is telling you and show up for it respectfully, right? That will make you hard to kill. Phil Jackson, who knows who Phil Jackson is? You guys know Phil Jackson? Okay, Phil Jackson has an amazing book I highly recommend called 11 Rings. This is a guy who coached not only Michael Jordan back in the Bulls days, but also the Lakers with Kobe and Shaq and all of these guys. And you know what Phil Jackson was doing in the 80s? He was having the Bulls breathe together in silence before their games. He called it one breath, one mind. And he got made fun of by all the other coaches. Can you imagine? They're like, oh, you guys are going to go do your kumbaya stuff now? Okay. But he knew that if he could sync them together, if he could have that relationship that's beyond just words and talking, then they could play better together. That was the secret to his success. So I'm going to have you think about that as I go through this. What is your relationship with your body like? How's it going? Let's get into it. First of all, some gratitude, because I see this miss. I don't care, like, if you have cancer right now, you're obese, you have massive gut issues, SIBO, there is a lot going right in your body. And we seem to forget about that and only hyper-focus on what isn't going well. Our bodies are freaking amazing. Even if you take terrible care of this thing, it will run for like 80 years on average. That's amazing. Super resilient. It auto-regenerates and heals itself. That's crazy. How cool is this thing? If I get scraped up, it will heal itself. I don't know of any technology that we have created on the planet like that. Just your iPhone, you cracks and it just starts healing itself. Holy smokes. Your heart beats more or less every second since your first breath when you were born. This heart is just going. Amazing. Your gut, I looked it up, I was curious. They estimate on average 74,000 pounds of food that this gut, this digestive tract, is processing for you over the course of your lifetime. Holy cow, thank you, gut, for all that you do. That's a lot of work. This one, your cells, did you know that your cells are programmed with an intracellular death program? When they get unhealthy, they commit suicide? It's called apoptosis. Insane. Also, right now, your body is sensing and adapting to your environment and you don't even realize it's doing it. You're breathing in all sorts of stuff. Bacteria, fungi, viruses, and your immune system is learning about them and armoring you with defense. It's sensing energetically. It's energetically sensing the environment. It's doing all of this all the time. We don't even think about it. It's doing so much for us. This guy, if you haven't read The Biology of Belief by Dr. Bruce Lipton, that is a must-read book. Cell biologist. He says the thoughts that fill our minds create chemical reactions in our body that determine our biology. Right? We know this, right? You know if you get nervous, like your palms will start sweating. That's your mind creating what's happening in your body. We know the placebo effect is real. This guy talked about in this book, they did fake knee surgery on people. They cut open their knees. They didn't actually do the surgery, and a lot of the people healed because they believed they got the surgery. That is insane. So think about that in terms of the thoughts that you're telling your body. I don't let my clients say, I have chronic Lyme disease. I'm like, yeah, I know you do, but we're not going to keep saying that. We're going to start saying my body is healing. Right? Your body reads your mind. You are like the god or goddess of this thing, and it's following suit. All right, so it does have some needs, right? Our body's doing all that cool stuff for us. It does have some needs. That's where we come in. So it's doing, your body will make every adaptation it possibly can for you to thrive. Everything, one of your muscles is inhibited, it's like, okay, this one will take over. It's doing everything it can, and all it's asking is for you to just give it what it needs. Basic stuff like sleep. Like, what is your sleep actually like? That's like as basic as it gets. Sunlight, exercise, like nutrients, water. It has some needs, right? And it also our bodies are so resilient. I am constantly amazed by how resilient our bodies are. They can deal with all these chemical things we're putting in it all the time that weren't even meant. Like, would you put some of the chemical foods in your car that you put in your body? No. Alcohol, stress, chronic sleep deprivation, all the sicknesses you've dealt with, being sedentary, to all the toxins in our world, it's dealing with all of that. But it can only handle so much, right? It's super strong and super resilient. And that I think we overestimate it sometimes. And once it gets to a certain point, things start to go wrong, and it's going to start letting you know, right? My first entry point into health was personal training, and I still do that as part of my coaching. It's like, I'm just constantly amazed, like my knee is hurting. What exercises can I do to avoid this like knee pain that I'm having? And I'm like, wait, we need to address the knee pain. We need to not just avoid and ignore it, like that we need to go full tilt. Whatever needs to be done, what is going on? It's probably in your hip or ankle, right? So it's letting you know, and this is the moment where this is what happens. Your body's sending you these signals. I'm tired all the time. I'm depressed. I'm anxious through the roof. I have no energy. My gut hurts. I'm doubling over in pain after I eat anything. It's telling you this. It's giving you all these signals, and then we don't listen. We actually get annoyed by it. Think if your kid was hurting and sick, and it came to you, and they're like, everything hurts, and you're like, oh my gosh. That's how people are with their bodies, though. Literally annoyed by it when it's asking for help. That's messed up. And why don't we listen? Because of the biggest problem that I see in health today, and is an unhealthy relationship with the body. This is the foundation. Just like your kids. It's going to be all this head stuff, all this mechanical stuff, when you could just be getting a lot of information from your own body. Okay, so what are healthy relationships? You know, you Google search, what are you going to find? Honesty, respect, trust, communication, love. So I'm going to ask you right now, are you honest with your body? Do you respect it? It's really awesome. You couldn't be here if you didn't have one. Do you talk to it? I do. And it's become an integral part of my coaching, and it's really powerful. And we're going to do that together in just a second. But this is where I see the problem gets even deeper, because when I talk about having love for the body, I get met up with a lot of resistance. It's because most people, like, when they hear this, like, body love thing, they think they're confused what love is. Like, so if I love my body and I'm obese right now or whatever, that means I'm just going to be complacent. People think love means complacency. That's not what love is. If you love your kid and they need help, they got holes in their shoes, you know, like, I love you in your shoes just the way you are. That's not love. Love is showing up. Love is not being passive. Love is also not this pressure, expectations, energy. We got some fundamental issues in the human collective in terms of understanding what love actually is. And the easiest way I'm able to get people there is to think about kids. So real love is what I call mom love. I have 4 kids, so it's really helped me understand what love is. A healthy, loving mom will listen to you. So think of your body as a kid right now, and you're the mom or the dad, okay? If you're in a good energy, you're going to listen to your body. You're going to listen, right? Listen, hold space, and be honest. You know, your mom's honest. My mom's always honest. You're going to be honest with your body. You're going to believe in it, right? Like when my kids are starting to not question themselves, I'm like, dude, you got that. You got that. You know, and that's how I am with my body in the gym. I'm like, you got it. Let's go. I don't push it to the point of breaking it, but I'm like, I believe in it, you know, and I encourage it and I show up for it. When you love someone, you show up for them, correct? So when you love your body, it's showing up. That's where it's not complacency and passiveness. Right? That's the biggest thing. People think I love myself means I'm just gonna like sit there. That's not love. I don't know what that is. That's neglect masquerading as love. That's not love. So when it comes to your body, are you listening? Really? Are you really listening? Have you developed this skill? Are you believing it, helping it, encouraging it, showing up for it? Okay, we're going to do this together. This is what I call inner child work, body version. okay? Has anybody ever done an inner child work in minimum therapy or familiar? You've heard of inner child work. It's really powerful. It's basically like you see yourself as a little kid and you, I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but like you ask your little inner child what they need and then you show up for it. So we don't do that with our body. I just did this morning. I do this almost every morning in my meditation, and I want to share this with you guys, so hopefully if you do it, you will remember it. Okay, so you don't need to read all this. Please entertain me and just try this, and like, close your eyes. Okay, nobody is watching you. I'm not really watching you, there's too many of you, okay? So you're all in your own little space. Please do it. Please entertain me. I'm not going to continue until everyone's eyes are closed. Thank you. That's when the coach tarot comes in. Yeah, and put your hand on your heart. That's an ultimate hack to connecting to yourself. Do you feel that? Allow yourself to. I know it's a little awkward because we're in a conference, but do your best to breathe and let go and just like kind of be with yourself right now. And now I just want you to just feel your body. Just kind of go through, scan through your body, and just see if any area of your body like stands out to you. Just notice if there's any tension anywhere. Notice if just some part of your body is standing out more than the other. Keep your eyes closed. But that's what I do. It's really simple. It's just noticing. It's like being aware of your kid when they have that little look of sadness on their face when they're talking to you about something. It's noticing. It's being with your body. It's holding space for your body. Like just noticing, like, hey, I notice you. Now I want you to thank it for all it does in your own way, in your own voice, not out loud, in your mind. Just thank you for everything that you do for me. Legs, hands, eyes, brain, heart, gut, immune system, lymphatic system, immune system. Holy cow, thank you so much for everything you're doing for me all the time. Blood, wow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Keep your eyes closed. Last thing, I want you to ask your body, is there anything that you need? And just see what pops in. All right, you can open your eyes. Hopefully that was enough time. Anybody mind shouting out what their body said? Just as many people. What did it? Eat some meat. Nice. Sleep. Nice. Exercise. Right on. Yeah. What else did your body say they needed? What? Water. Nice. Dude, I've been doing this for so long, my body will sometimes say like, fish oil, B vitamins, sleep is always a big one, electrolytes. Actually, you need to get off your phone at the gym and start pushing it a little harder. No, today you need to just walk, girl, like just recover hard. Okay. And it was a playful practice for me in the beginning, like I was just kind of playing with it. I'm telling you, as somebody who used to be overweight, eating standard American diet, who went full into this like fitness thing and has now done a lot of healing and come into the middle, this practice has brought me what I am experiencing extreme health with extreme ease from that practice. I do it every day. Well, sometimes I forget, sometimes I just meditate, but almost every day. It's been magical. So now, here's the part, here's the clincher. It's your job to follow up on what I just told you. That's where you come in. And the example I like to give is if I went to my 10-year-old, Micah, and I said, Micah, want to go to Disney World next month? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, and then I don't do it. And then again later, I'm like, you want to go to Disney World? Yes! I don't do it. You're not going to get the benefit if you don't do your part, and it can actually damage the relationship more. So when your body said that you need water, sleep, exercise, meat, your job is to follow up, and when you do that, my body has said things like yoga. I'm like, all right, I just entertain it. It is this moment of like connection to self like you wouldn't believe. It's like, I got you. I hear you. Not only do I hear you, but I got you. And it will build your relationship with your body like nothing else. I just want to remind you, if you haven't read the biology of belief or really gotten into cellular behavior or anything like, I mean, your body, these cells, these trillions of cells that make up your body, I kind of see them like us on this planet. They're like these little sentient beings that are highly intelligent, that all work together. And you are like the god or goddess of this little universe that is your body. And they're asking for help. And they're showing up for you tirelessly. They're doing everything they can to help you. So are you doing the same thing for them? This is why when I see people get like kind of nasty towards their body, like that kind of energy, I'm like, I don't know, you might be the jerk in this situation because I know your body is doing everything it can for you. Are you doing the same for them? When you build a real loving relationship with your body, that's why I wanted to speak on this today, it's because it doesn't have to be so hard all the time. You can navigate through the topsy-turvy nature of life much more easily in a healthy way when you have that relationship. For example, let's say somebody hires me and they're like super gung-ho and they're like, I'm always gonna go to the gym and I'm gonna like plan out all my food and I'm gonna put them in little packages on Sunday and I'm gonna do this for the rest of my life. No, you're not. And then some crazy thing happens and then you have to go out of town and then life just happens and you're driving around to softball games all day and oops, you didn't prepare your asparagus and salmon, you know. We have to be able to navigate through the crazy nature of life. Things change, we're not robots. Life is crazy, it changes all the time. So when we have that relationship, you can literally feel, I can feel at this point of doing this, when my body needs more protein, when it needs more fat, when it needs more carbs, when it needs more sleep, when it needs electrolytes, when it needs more downtime, when it needs more intensity in my lifting. I can feel that now because I've built this relationship. That makes it really easy to navigate through life when you have that established, right? Like it doesn't have to be so rigid. It might have to be a little rigid in the beginning when you're learning new habits, but even with that, you can feel into like, no dude, I need to sleep more. That is just what's happening today, you know? So it makes it so much easier for you to get the answers from inside of you. We've gotten into a time now where like people are asking like, can I have salt during my fast? And like, can I have like this one ingredient? And, you know, and I'm like, man, I understand the thirst for knowledge. I totally understand that. But like, we got to connect to ourselves here. Can I have a grape? I'm like, dude, I'm gonna let you answer that, you know? We gotta connect to ourselves and take in all of this information, but use this connection to self. Stay connected to yourself. Ask your body what it needs. Ask yourself, your higher self, what you need. Because when you stay in that energy, the right thing that comes to you during this conference, you'll know. And the stuff that you don't need to worry about as much, you'll also know. Use that intuition, use that connection to self, and it will pull you into the direction. I often say that a lot of my job is giving people scientific information that proves that their intuition was right. I mean, it never ceases to amaze me. Somebody's like, I felt like I really needed to do carnivore, and I'm looking at their gut labs and their blood sugar, and I'm like, yeah, definitely, you know, for a while, that was a really smart intervention for you. right? So stay connected like that. When something speaks to you, pulls at you, trust it. Trust yourself. All right, so a little bit more about me. So I do have a podcast. It's called the Inside Out Health Podcast.